Hello and welcome to Orderful. Today we are going to walk through what a leader experience within Orderful looks like. In EDI, the party that dictates the EDI guidelines or spec documents are classified as the leader, while the party that has to follow those guidelines is classified as the follower. Today we are going to focus primarily on what you see on the left side, with a retailer being the leader and inviting their suppliers to Orderful. The first step when getting started as a leader within Orderful is to create the guidelines or those EDI spec documents. For each one of your unique EDI documents, you'll create a guideline. As we come through here and choose our transaction type, Orderful supports all versions of X12 and EDIFACT and allows you to choose a starting template if you would wish to use as your starting point. Once we're on this screen, we then have the ability to change what fields are mandatory, optional, as well as what those allowed values for each one of our segments and elements are. Once that guideline has been formatted to fit our specific business needs, we can go ahead and publish this specific guideline. You can have multiple versions of each guideline as needed for each one of your unique business relationships. Once guidelines have been created, we can then move on to our testing scenarios. Testing scenarios can be classified as the complete end-to-end workflow that you would be using with your followers. If we create a new guideline, we can name it our test and then add our steps. With these steps, we're going to choose who is sending, what document we are sending, and then we can add an additional step to say if our trading partner is sending us a document that we would be receiving. Once we've completed that end-to-end workflow, we can go ahead and save and publish those scenarios. Guidelines have been created, scenarios have been created, and now we are ready to introduce our guidelines and scenarios to our trading partners. This happens through a trade request, where we can go ahead and say that I'm the leader and I would like to assign these specific scenarios to my trading partner, and then come through here and fill out who my trading partner is. Once I go ahead and submit, our trading partner will receive an email inviting them to Orderful. Within the Orderful UI, they will be able to access the guidelines and testing scenarios that we have just created and complete testing against them. Orderful validates every single transaction against the assigned guidelines, which means that your suppliers will not be able to send you invalid information. At this point, we're going to flip our perspective to that of your supplier, who is going to be using Orderful to complete testing against your leader spec doc. Your supplier will be able to come into the UI and upload a transaction, which Orderful will validate against your guideline in real time. If we use this 856 as an example, we see that Orderful has flagged this transaction as invalid and has also stopped delivery of the transaction. So this means that you, as a leader, will never receive invalid information because Orderful stops delivery and forces your followers to fix validation issues before the transaction is actually delivered through to you. Your followers will be able to utilize the rules editor to see what the specific error is and what they need to do to go ahead and fix it. For you, as a leader, you will be able to see all of your transactions coming in and out of the platform here on the transaction dashboard, including the ability to filter out by specific transaction types or even by specific trading partners. You also will be able to set up your communication channels for how your trading partners, your suppliers, will be sending and receiving transactions from Orderful. And that is how Orderful supports both being a leader and a follower and how we've streamlined the process as a leader to allow your trading partners to self-service onboard against your specific guidelines and testing scenarios.